Are you wondering how to deal with haters in your business? Or maybe you're scared of getting haters in your business when you start putting yourself out there and getting visible. If that is you, you definitely want to join me for today's video because I'm going to be talking about haters when you get those in your business, whether you're just getting started or you've already been in business for a while and this is something that's happened to you and now has scared you from moving forward in your business. I want to give you some words of wisdom and some steps that you can go through to really understand what this criticism means and how you can allow it to not stop you from moving forward in your business. I want you to be able to put yourself out there with confidence and not allow this to stop you from moving forward. Because no matter what, if you're getting visible and you're putting yourself out there, which is something that we have to do when it comes to growing a business, you are gonna get haters. So knowing how to handle this situation and what it really means is super important. So that's what I'm gonna walk you through today. And I'm gonna give you 6 steps to go through that is really going to change your perspective and help you move forward, okay? So I wanna start by just telling you a little bit about a story, a personal story, when I was actually first getting started in my business. And I had responded to someone, or I actually had a call with a potential client, and she wanted me to coach her for free. And I wasn't in a place of coaching people for free. I was charging for my services, and I told her that. And I told her that, I feel that people get better results when they're investing in themselves. And she started writing very angry messages all over my Facebook group. And this is when I had just gotten started my business. And of course I got really freaked out and I was like, oh my gosh, like people think I'm a bad person. She was saying like I only wanted money and I didn't want to help people and I didn't care about, people and helping them. And obviously that was very upsetting when I was first getting started. And I ended up like seeing this for what it was. And that's part of what I'm going to walk you through in today's comments. But a lot of people get so scared of criticism that they allow it to keep them from moving forward and really making the impact that they could make in their business and just in people's lives in general. And I just think back to when I got started and what if that had been me? What if I had allowed that one comment, that one criticism to stop me from moving forward in my business, and that was like 6 years ago now. Like, what if I had allowed that to stop me? And I'm so glad that I didn't. So I want to give you what I've learned to allow you to be able to move through this in your business as well. Okay. So I want to start first about talking about, this is really number 1, but it's about understanding the human brain and that we are wired to want to belong. We're wired to want to fit in, to want people to like us, to not get criticism, because it goes back to when we were cavemen or, we're tribal creatures, humans, and we want to be part of the clan or the group. We want to be accepted. And back in the day when we were part of a tribe, it was important for our survival to not get cast out of the group. And we still have that drive in us to want to be part of the group, to want to be accepted. So that's why for a lot of us, getting criticism is really scary. We're like, oh my gosh, I can't get any criticism. If I do, I'm gonna die. And if you feel like that, I get it, I can relate, and so many of us do, and that's why. So number 1, I think it's important just to understand that. That's your brain's like protection mechanism, but it isn't necessary for us anymore because getting criticism does not mean that we're getting cast out of the tribe and that it's going to have an impact on our safety, okay? So number 1, just understand that. Number 2 is that when you're getting visible and you start to make an impact and you start to spread your message, you're going to get haters, okay? Like getting visible and getting out there and starting to do amazing work in the world, it makes you susceptible to get haters. And that is okay. And by haters, I just mean negative comments, like people, it doesn't have to be like this terrible thing, but just people making comments that you may take as negative. on the things that you're doing or putting out there. And I think just being aware of this, and that's going to happen. I mean, you can think of like all the famous, amazing people who may be doing like really awesome work in the world, and you're like, how could people say anything negative about them? And people find negative things to say. So it doesn't matter what you're doing and how amazing you are, how long you've been doing it. Like you're going to be susceptible to negativity if you're putting yourself out there and you're getting visible. So just being aware of that, that's number 2, and just knowing that. And so I want to hear from you in the comments. Do you have a fear of getting criticism or getting, having haters or having people leave negative feedback on things that you're putting out in the world? And if you do, is that holding you back in your business, or how is it holding you back in your business? I want you to just recognize that and let me know in the comments if this is something that comes up for you, because I think it's important to just recognize this so that it doesn't have to keep holding you back, okay? So let me know. Number 3 is that you need to consider the source of where these hater comments or this negativity is coming from. And I was listening to something, and I wanted to share this with you because they said haters means, or it kind of like what it is broken down to if you break down the letters. So having anger towards everyone reaching success, right? And I think this is so true. And we get this negative feedback and we're like, oh my gosh, like this is terrible. What are people going to think of me? But you really need to think about like, who are these people that are leaving the negative comments? And should you be really caring what they have to say? Because the thing is, and I know for me, myself, like I personally would not work with anyone who is the type of person that goes and leaves negative comments on people's stuff. Like that isn't my person. That's not something that I would ever do. And it's not something that anyone that I would want to work with does. Like that's just not the case. And people have to be very bored with their lives and really looking for something to do if they feel the need to go and leave negative comments on things that you're doing. So I think just like kind of being aware of this and being like, okay, like, who is this coming from? And does it really matter? And is there even any validity behind it? And typically there's not, okay? So I want to read something to you. And this is a quote I found today when I was kind of looking at what I wanted to share on this video. And this quote is by Theodore Roosevelt. And I think it's super, super powerful. So I'm going to actually read it to you. So he says, "It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcomings, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat." And that was by Theodore Roosevelt. And I think that quote is amazing. And I think everyone should print it out and hang it on their wall. Because the thing is, in order to go out there and do anything great and to try new things and to make things, to be a creator, to be a teacher, to be a leader, you have to get visible and you have to put yourself out there. And you're likely going to get criticism. You're going to get people who love what you do and they give you lots of positive feedback. And of course, there's going to be some people that don't love it. And that's okay. You're not for everyone. And you're being brave and you're putting yourself out there, and you're not going to be perfect doing it because no one is, but at least you're doing it. And most of those people that are leaving negative comments are not living the life they want to be living. They're not doing the things they want to be doing. And if they were, they probably wouldn't be sitting around leaving negative comments on people's work. So I just want you to think about all that. And I want you to really think about the fact that it's very brave to go and put yourself out there, and that you're really setting yourself apart from the people that don't do that. And that what it's really all about is going out there and trying and being willing to fail and learning and doing it again. It's not about doing it perfectly and trying to make everyone happy. Like if you're making everyone happy, then you're not trying hard enough. You're not really putting yourself out there, because if you are, you're always going to get some of that negative stuff, and it's okay. Okay. So consider the source. And then number 4 really is what you make it mean. So this is kind of tied into all of this, but really it's actually, getting criticism is an amazing opportunity for you to look at what you make criticism mean. So when people say things that could be seen as negative to you, like how do you handle that? How do you react to it? Do you make it mean something about you and that something is wrong with you? Or do you just make it mean like, okay, that's nice, that's that person's opinion, but it doesn't mean anything about me or what I have to offer, or, my worth, like any of that stuff. So I think it's such a great opportunity. And that putting yourself out there and getting criticism actually is such a way to grow personally. So I would look at it as that too. Okay, so number 5 is to focus on the positive. So most likely, if you're putting yourself out there and you're doing coaching and you're talking about how you can help people, most of the feedback that you get is going to be positive. And this has definitely been true for me. Like I get a lot of positive feedback, but I do get negative feedback too. Whether this is from people who are just following me or watching my content, or even potentially from clients that I've worked with. Like this is just inevitable. And if you ask anyone, any coach, like this is just the way it works. Like, yes, there's going to be a lot of people that think you're amazing and they really like working with you, or they like the content you're putting out there, but there's going to be some people that don't. And that's okay. Like you can't control everyone's experience or how they are seeing you or if they like you. Like that's okay. And so what I want you to do is really focus on all the positive. And a lot of times, like let's say we get 100 positive comments or feedback, and then we get one negative one, and we so focus on that negative one, and we're like, oh my gosh, this one person doesn't like me. And we get really upset about it. And I want you to just be able to let that go and to just focus on those people that are giving you the positive feedback, because that's going to be the majority of people anyways. So really like shifting that focus. And then one thing to keep in mind is a lot of times people wonder, like, how do I handle it if I do get negative feedback, especially like if someone writes like negative comments on something you put out there. I've had clients do this, like if they're running a Facebook ad, or you're making a post on Facebook, or on Instagram, or wherever it is. For me on YouTube, like yes, I'll get negative comments on YouTube, and that's okay. So how do you handle that? So you can either delete the comments if you want to, or you just ignore them and you can leave them, or you can comment back if you want. I really kind of see like, okay, what do I think this person's intention is of making this comment? Sometimes they're just giving me like advice. Like I've had some videos where the volume was too low and people are giving me some advice. I'm like, okay, thank you. Yes, like, the volume needs to be louder. Other times it's just weird comments and you're like, okay, whatever. Like I'm not even gonna respond to that. And when you do get those comments, I do find from experience that it's better not to respond, because some people just want to start a fight. They just want to like get some controversy going, and usually that's a no-win situation. So those comments I typically just ignore. But if you're getting comments on the stuff you're doing, you're sparking people's passion. And even if it is potentially like a negative comment, like you're getting people passionate. Like you've obviously said something that struck a chord for people. And so I think you can just see that as even being like a good thing, that you're talking about something that people care about. So you can feel free, go at your own, like take your own, tap into your intuition and see what you want to do about your comments. Sometimes delete them. Sometimes I ignore them. Sometimes I comment back on them. It's totally up to you. I would just think about like, what's the intention of this person with the comment? And is it worth me commenting back or just deleting it. So that's number 5. Focus on the positive. You can delete if you want on the negative. And number 6, and I think this is super helpful, is to surround yourself with like-minded people. When you're starting a business, when you're growing a business, when you're an entrepreneur, I think it's really helpful to surround yourself with like-minded people. So my program, I actually have my clients as part of a mastermind. So they're part of a group where they're actually working, they're with other coaches. And where I think this is so helpful is that you see that you're not alone when it comes to things like getting criticism or negative comments or, whatever it is that you're experiencing. But when you're part of a like-minded group or people that are doing similar things, have similar ambitions, it's very nice to have that support of people that are doing the same thing, because you start to see like, oh, this isn't just me, like everyone deals with these things. Everyone deals with the haters, deals with the negativity, and it's okay. It's not something that's, specific to me. So I think those things are super helpful. So I also have a video on getting criticism, and this is more not so much like maybe from your clients, but from other people in your life when it comes to your business. And I will attach that video below in the description. So if you want to watch that too, I think you'll find that helpful. But I also have a few things that I want to send you to that I think you're going to find helpful as well. So I have a training all about getting consistent clients in your business. How do you get out there? How do you start growing your business and start getting consistent clients and income coming in your business? So I will put the link below this video. So feel free to sign up for that. I know you'll find it super helpful. And if you're really wanting personalized support in your business, on your mindset, on, how do I get out there? How do I get over these fears? How do I start feeling really confident as a coach and confidently grow my business, get consistent clients and income coming in my business? If that is you and you're ready to get clients now, I want to invite you to sign up for a free consult with me. I do free business breakthrough sessions where we walk through where you are in your business, what your goals are for your business, and look at if working together is a good fit for helping you reach those goals that you have. So if you're interested in that, I will put the link below the video and you can sign up for a call with me. So thank you so much for joining me for today's video. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and let me know. I would also love for you to subscribe to my channel. Hit the little bell if you want to get notifications each time I post a new video. I post them every week. And I love to hear what you find most helpful. So you can also let me know in the comments, like, what is your biggest takeaway from today's video? I absolutely love to hear from you. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you found this helpful, and I will see you in next week's video. Bye.